Okay. All right, Boker Tov. Today's daf is Kuf Yud Aleph 111 Laz. Okay, so we pick up at the bottom of Kuf Yud Amud Bet, and not the bottom, unfortunately, close to the bottom. And we're going through this whole discussion about whether a woman who was married as a chireshet, and which is only rabbinic, and now there's a yibum obligation, whether she can do yibum, or normally a chireshet could not do yibum, because besides the bardas issue, she can't speak. But will we allow it because her marriage was only rabbinic, her marriage was as a chireshet, and Rav had said we would allow her to do yibum. I think it was Rava, excuse me, and we're bringing evidence from all this whole mission at the beginning of the next parak that deals with chireshet in various situations and consistently assumes that she cannot do yibum. The Gemara tried to assert that those were cases where she was married as a hearing person, but through working through the Mishnah, it was clear that some of the cases at the end were cases where she clearly was a chireshet from beginning to end, and therefore it said that that's therefore clear pretty much that that's what the Mishnah is talking with, and that Rava is incorrect. Even when she was married as a chireshet, she cannot do chalitza. So the rest of the section of this discussion is just going to be reproving it from a different part of that of the Mishnah. So let's take a look. So the Gemara says like this. So ishtik we had with yesterday. Rav was silenced. He asalakame. The word is asalakame. It lines us with asalakame. It's pretty much across from the Tosfos for kamikave. It's like, I don't know, 30 lines down or something. He also Rav Yosef when he, whoever it was, he who was challenging Rava, I forget who it was. Whoever it was. Anyway, Abaye, that would have been a good guess. When Abaye came in front of Rav Yosef, so Rav Yosef said to him, coming to Rav Yosef, my time at why did you ask him from that section of the Mishnah that we dealt with yesterday? Because then he could tell you, the section that was clear that it was about a woman who was a cherish from the beginning was a case of two sisters. That maybe he would concede. But he would say Nachrios, the section that really disproved his position, which was dealing with women who weren't sisters, because maybe again that was cases where they were originally hearing. So you really haven't totally proven it. You've proved the section of the Mishnah was that they were charashot, but not necessarily the section that was most relevant. Ella you should have asked him from this section. Two brothers are married to two sisters, and it's going to go through 6 cases. It's really 5 cases because it's going to say that either both brothers were charashot or both sisters were charashot. So you understand that no matter therefore what the other gender was, the marriages will be both marriages will be derabanan. Is that clear? Yeah. Right? 2 brothers, 2 sisters. Either both brothers are charashim or both sisters are charashot. So we're dealing with a derabanan. Both of them are derabanan marriages. So let's list these 6 cases, which are really 5. Shnei achim charashim. 2 brothers that are deaf. Nesuim l'shtei achayot, married to 2 sisters. Pikos, either they are hearing, the sisters, or they are deaf. Or one is hearing and one is deaf. Okay, so that's 3 scenarios where both brothers are deaf. Or 2 sisters that are deaf. Nisuot are married either to 2 hearing brothers, or 2 brothers that are deaf, or to 2 brothers. One is hearing and one is deaf. The reason I said it's 6 out of 5 is because when both brothers and sisters are deaf, that was mentioned in both of the lists. Really okay, yeah, exactly. Anyway, doesn't matter. Either both brothers are deaf or both sisters are deaf, so it's all Kiddush and Darabanan. What's the halacha? So, so one of the brothers dies, the other brother is exempt from Chalitza Yibum. Why? Because that's Achos Ishto, right? Wife, sister. And it's all within the world of Nisue Cheresh, because everybody's dealing in the same universe of the rabbinic marriages of Charashim. So therefore, it is within that universe. It's Achos Ishto, and the woman walks away. But if they weren't sisters, Yichnesu, then here you are. this person, Ruvain, has an obligation of Yibum, but he right because one of the sides is not I'm sorry, the sisters are not related to one another. Okay, so basically what you've got, sisters are not related to one another. That made a lot of sense. Okay, so basically what you have is you have Ruvain and Shimon. Okay, so they're obviously brothers. Okay, and if they're married, both of these are nisui chiresh. Okay, both, I don't know why I'm making the woman small. Both of these are cases of only up to a dato. See, it's only a rabbinic marriage. It's nisui chiresh, and one of them dies. Now, if they're sisters, they're all within the same universe of nisui chiresh. So it's achos yishta walks away. If they're not sisters, he's got a mitzvah of yibum or chalitza derabanan within the world of marriages of one of them is deaf. So he has a mitzvah of yibum. So we would say do what you do when you have a mitzvah of yibum derabanan. Do yibum or do chalitza, but he can't do chalitza. Why can't he do chalitza? Because some of these scenarios the woman is a chereshet, and if the woman is a chereshet, she can't do chalitza. So chalitza we're not going to discuss. We're only going to discuss yibum, and then so let's take a look. So vimhayu nachriyos, if they were not related, yichnesu, then they can do yibum. Vimratzu lahotzi yotziu, and if they want to divorce, they can divorce. Now you should be saying, what do you mean they can divorce? We said that a cheresh can't give a get. He's not a bardas, right? But since the whole thing is all rabbinic, right? We allow a cheresh to give a divorce within the rabbinic world. If a cheresh marries a woman, then the same way the marriage was rabbinic, he can give her a divorce. Like, this is the irony, right? That you might not be able to do chalitza when you're dealing with the marriage of a chereshet, but you can give a divorce when you're in that world. Is everybody with me? Have I totally confused everyone?
I just forget why that is.
Because the line in the Mishnah is Kishem Shekonis Burmiza Kach Motzi Burmiza. The same way the rabbis allowed a cheresh to marry rabbinically, they allowed him to divorce rabbinically. It all works within the closed rabbinic system. And so here what we're saying is that you have this closed system of marriages of charashim. One or both of them are charashim. So he can do yibum. And since that's all within this series, and since it's within this it's only all rabbinic here, he can, after he does yibum, give her a get. But the one thing we won't allow, ironically, even though we're going to allow yibum and a get, even though he's a cheresh to write a get, we're not going to allow chalitza. Because even though the whole thing is within the rabbinic world of charashim and of rabbinic, we're not going to allow her to do chalitza. We're only going to allow a case of yibum and a get.
I still don't understand why.
Well, okay, the one that explains why. It just proves it. Wait, let's just read the case. Hold on. So it says, v'imratzu lahotzi yotziu, and then afterwards you can give a get. Hey Chidami, what's the case? If the marriages were first when they were hearing and then they became deaf, then if it's all, then you're on the Doraisa plane, and then the yibum is a Doraisa yibum, and then a get wouldn't be possible. The Hatznan, we taught in the Mishnah, we'll skip the first the 3 words, which is not relevant part of the Mishnah. If he married when he was well and then became deaf or became a shota, he can never divorce her. So if we're allowing him to do yibum and give a get, it must be that everybody's originally a cheresh, and we're only in the rabbinic world. And if el olav a charashim meikara, umidahein charashim meikara, since the case by the men is that they were a cheresh meikara, or else we would never let him write a get. Inunami charashim meikara. So obviously the women are also. This is all the same case. Viktani. So all this is clear that it's all talking about that everything was purely rabbinic. Nobody was ever hearing. Everybody was always deaf. And even so, all we allow is yibum, yichnesuin, yichletzuyo, only yibum, not chalitza, tiyufta de Rabba, tiyufta, that is a complete contradiction of Rabba. So without going through the whole thing we went through yesterday, we prove more directly that in this case, where it's clear that it's all rabbinic marriages, that's clear, everybody was a cheresh to begin with, and nevertheless, we do not allow the women to do chalitza. So that proves it's not clear why, right? We allow the man to do yibum and write a get, even though a cheresh normally can't write a get, but because we're living within this rabbinic world. But for some reason, we still don't allow the woman to do chalitza, and that is the conclusion. Yes.
Are these 2 women sisters?
In this second case, no, they're not.
Oh, they're not.
If they're sisters, then the other one then you just walk away. But if they're not sisters, you have to either do yibum.
The woman who was married, whose husband passed away, walks away.
Exactly.
Without anything.
Exactly.
If he stays married.
Yeah, exactly.
I know we've sort of been skirting around this, but I'm still not quite understanding is the Gemara's view of the cheresh. Like, meaning if were hearing capabilities before.
Yeah.
It's not like your mind went.
Yeah,
which
I
is
understand.
supposed to
So let's hold that off. We're going to get to a whole parak called cheresh, okay? So yes, but what's clear here, and also because the Gemara allows for a cheresh to write a get, but doesn't allow for a shoter to write a get, in this case of where it's all rabbinic. B, the fact that the Gemara focuses on the problem here of the cheresh as that he can't say, or the chereshet, that she can't say the verses, rather than that she's not a bardas. The Gemara always sort of recognizes cheresh as more of a bardas than a shota. There's no question about that. Okay, Ketana v'chereshet. Now we're going to get to the fun part, okay? So, the Mishnah says that if a man is married to a Ketana and a chereshet, two wives.
You can make it in different colors.
Okay, fine, we'll make them different colors. That's the Ketana. This is the chereshet.
The chereshet is a gedola.
Is a gedola, and he's married to both of them, and he dies, okay? So his brother here, you cannot do, as opposed to if they're both charashot or both ketanot, where they're at the same level, it says he does yibum or chalitza with one of them and the other one is walks away, like in a normal case of a marriage, right? A normal case of yibum with two wives. But because they're both rabbinic, but they're of a different quality, and we'll get to that in a minute, then you can't assume what you did with one works with the other. So you basically have to go ahead and do either Yibum and Chalitza with one and like the other with the other, and the Gemara is going to figure out what you have to do. But the first point of departure is that just because he does Yibum or Chalitza with one, that it doesn't deal with his obligation and his Zika to the other. Now, just so you know that the Gemara is going to assume, and for the sake of our time and our whatever focus, I'm not going to demonstrate how the Gemara knows this. The Rashi at the bottom of the page sort of demonstrates it if you want to read it on your own time. But the Gemara is going to assume in a few minutes that the nature of the different type of rabbinic marriages is that one of them is considered to be a quasi kiddushin, mikudeshet umishuyeret. There's a remnant to it. It's not full. It's quasi kiddushin, and the other is going to be considered a suffix kiddushin, mikudeshet ve'ena mikudeshet. Right? So is it 50%? Or is it 100% or zero? Okay, suffix is 100% or zero, or mishuyeret 50%. So we'll worry about that in a minute, but that's what the Gemara is going to assume, that there is a different type of a kiddushin with one as opposed to the other.
Will get older, it'll be full.
Right? Okay, so you're assuming which way it's going to go. The Gemara doesn't know which way it's going. Okay, let's take a look. So Amar Rav Nachman. So Rav Nachman said, I found Ravada Bar Ava, Rav Chana Chasnei, Ravada Bar Ava and Rav Chana, his son-in-law. They were sitting and doing something. Rashi says it means they were asking questions to one another. Okay, Beshuka de Pumpadisa, in the marketplace of Pumpadisa. The army, and they said, Haditnan. Having doing yibum with one does not get the other one off. Are we talking about who are they married to? Were they married? Was it the case that they were married to his brother, who was a hearing adult brother? And that's why we don't know which of these two women is the more weighty marriage, and what's the suffix. Now this becomes very strange how it frames the suffix. Did the brother rather be married, if he had to choose between which wife, would he rather be married to the minor? Why? Or would he rather be married to his deaf wife? Maybe he'd rather be married to his minor wife, the Asya L'Chaldea. Eventually, she would become an adult, and she'd be and therefore, and he'd be more, somebody more that he could relate to. Or maybe he'd rather be married right now to the adult, even though she was deaf, to Gdoli, because she's an adult. So, ubas biyahi, and he can be having sex with her. Okay, so therefore, that's why we don't know which one he'd prefer. Now, of course, what's so funny about this is,
married to both anyway.
Who the heck cares what he would prefer? Right. This is a legal question. Right? Why don't you ask him? Who's your favorite wife, Rachel or Leah? Right? So, no, so it's very strange that it frames it as who would he prefer. Let's maybe slightly reframe it as, which one would halacha recognize as the more ikar marriage because of an assumption of what men would normally prefer. Okay, it's very funny to frame it in terms of his personal assumption. But anyway, maybe that's the case when he's married to an adult, a hearing adult, and therefore we can't determine which one is the more ikker marriage. Aval, right? Aval nafla mi achiv cheresh. But let's say these two women were both married to a cheresh, a deaf person. Then, in that case, maybe we would say vare b'chereshes nichale. Maybe in that case we would say you have a cheresh married, a deaf person married to a minor and to an adult deaf woman. So then maybe we would say halacha would recognize his marriage to the adult deaf woman as the ikker marriage. Okay, as let's just say this as having more weight. Okay, the bas biyahi. I'm sorry, skip a line. Bas biyahi, yes, because she can have sex with her right now. Ubas mina he, and she's similar to him. That they're both deaf. So maybe when they're married to a cheresh, we should take it for granted that the cheresh married to the chereshet is assumed to have more weight.
Wait, nafla me achiv cheresh means that
these two women had been married to a cheresh, and he died.
Nafla
Reuven. They fell from Reuven. Okay. V'aminu lu'ana, and I said to them, afilu nafla me achiv cheresh nami misafkale. No, even if the man they were married to was a cheresh, we don't know. And it's not the question of what he would prefer, or maybe even what men would prefer. There is a technical legal question here about the difference between Nisuei Cheresh and Nisuei Ketana, and it has nothing to do with what the story of the man is. And now we're going to turn our attention to that question about the fact that Nisuei Cheresh and Nisuei Ketana are both rabbinic, but operating at different levels. Let's take a look. Okay, so now, Ketza Takanata. Well, how do you deal with this situation? Now, how do you deal with it? So let's start to figure out how we would deal with it. Okay, let's say, I don't know, do Yibum with the Chereshet and do Chalitza with the Ketana. Okay, wait till the Ketana grows up. We're assuming the Ketana can do Chalitza. Because remember, Chereshet cannot do Chalitza.
Reuven and Shimon are both Shikrim, right?
Yeah. Okay, so what are we going to do? So Chereshet cannot do Chalitza. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ketana can do Chalitza, either as the Ketana or when she grows up, depending on how we posture. All right. So do chalitza with the ketana and yibum with the chereshet. That'll be a way of solving the situation. Only a bit of a problem, which is that after he's done chalitza with the ketana, right, the yibum with the chereshet is going to be a case where if the relationship, right, if the ketana sort of relationship is the more weighty one, put it that way, then he is done with the Yibum idea after he's done Chalitza with the Ketana. And if he's done with Yibum idea, then he can't do Yibum, right? So it doesn't allow for Yibum to take place. So let's say he starts the other way. Fine, start the other way. Do Yibum first with her, right? And then do Chalitza. Now you can't do another Yibum with her. Same story, right? Because you can't do Yibum with both wives. Fine, but do chalitza with her, okay? But he does chalitza with her, then even though he did chalitza afterwards, it would still go back and impact the status of this relationship, because then to continue to be sleeping with this wife after he's done chalitza with one of the wives, right? It doesn't really matter what order it is. After he's done chalitza, if chalitza has been done with, meaning, if this yibum was really the stronger thing, then the chalitza would be meaningless. Right. Normally, you can never have chalitza after yibum, because after yibum, there's no meaning to chalitza. Right. But because we don't know which thing has more weight, right? Even after he's done yibum, that might not disqualify or push off the table the act of chalitza if this is the stronger relationship. So yibum with her does not break this relationship. So therefore, chalitza is still possible, and chalitza is possible and necessary, and chalitza takes place, and therefore, if this were the strong relationship, but chalitza took place, he cannot go back and do yibum with her, right? So you're stuck.
Meaning he can't continue living with her.
Living with her, right? Because now he's dealing with a wife, a co-wife of a woman that he did chalitza.
Why does he do chalitza to both of them?
Because he can't do chalitza with chereshet. Yes.
The stronger.
Meaning, we say there are different types of kiddushin, and we're assuming one is stronger than the other. Okay, that's sort of, we introduced that before about wondering about who was the husband. Right. So let's see what the Gemara says. Ketza takanata. How are you going to fix this? So Amar Rav Chiz Amar Rav, kones hachireshet umotzia beget. Marry the chereshet, and meaning have sex with her, and then give her a get. Okay. So that was fine. That was yibum and then a get. Okay. Ktana, tamtina kshetagdil v'tachlot, and then you chalitza with a ktana. So yes, chalitza is off the table. You do yibum. But, and then do chalitza with the ktana. What was the only problem we said with that? Is that after you've done chalitza with the ktana, he can't go ahead and continue living with the gdola, with the chareshet. So don't go continue living with the chareshet. You want to just allow them to go ahead and be free and to remarry. So do yibum and give her a get, and then go ahead and do chalitza, and everybody is done with. Okay.
The tikkun is how to prevent a gunas.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
To do even, he has to sleep with her.
He has to sleep with her. Yep.
They don't consider any of the psychology behind
Nope.
it at all.
Absolutely not. I mean, you're right. It's like, oh, no problem. You don't have to be in a guna. You just got to sleep with this man, and he'll give you a get, and then you'll be free. Okay. Exactly. Okay. Okay, okay, because once you do one, you can't do the other. You can't have sex after you've done one with one of them, because it might be, the problematic situation of having already done yibum, having done chalitza with one of the wives. So the only thing is, so you do the sex thing first, and then you give the get, whatever, and then you get to do the get, and you get that off the table, and then you go and you do the chalitza, and you're done with both. Okay, so now the Gemara says like this. Amar Rav Chisda, Shema Mina. From that innocent statement, which seemed to be the only way of solving this problem, we can infer, Kasavar Rav old, Chereshet Knuya Meshuyeret, the relationship to the Chereshet is a quasi-Kiddushin, okay? Ktana Knuya Ve'ena Knuya. And the Ktana is either 100% or zero. You see, Michael, you would have said the opposite, right? Okay, so the Ktana is either 100% or zero, and the Chereshet is a 50%. Right? How do you hear that? How can you figure that out from that little statement that Rav made? So now it's going to prove it to you by a counterfactual. If the Chereshet was the one that we know that, again, you can look in Rashi to figure out why. I'm not going to do it, but we know that one is one and one is the other. Just take it from me on faith. Rashi shows you how the Gemara knows that. Okay, so we're saying the Chereshet is 50% and the Ktana is either all or nothing. And here we're going to prove it by showing you what would result from the counterfactual. If the Chereshet was the Safek, and Ktana Knuya Meshuyeret, and the Ktana was the 50%, so Chereshet Amai Kones Umotzia Beget. Why would you have to do Yibum with the Chereshet and then give her a get? I have a better solution. What would be the better solution? This is in the counterfactual that Chereshet is the Safek. Okay, what will be the reality if the Chereshet is the Safek and the Ktana is the 50%? Okay, we're saying the reverse, but I'm going to show you that Rav's solution, whoever solution was it? Whoever solution it was, Rav's solution assumed the opposite of this. Okay, Rav's solution assumed the Ktana was the Safek and the Chereshet was 50%. And here's how I'll show it to you. Let's assume that the Chereshet was the Safek and the Ktana was 50%. Why would he have to do Yibum and divorce her? There would be a better solution. What would be the better solution? Let's take a look. Top of Kuf Yud Aleph Hamad Aleph. Teisav Gabei Miman of Shach. I skipped the one. Amai Konis Motzia Beget. Why would he have to do Yibum and divorce her? Teisav Gabei Miman of Shach. Let him stay married to the Chereshet, to the deaf woman, either way. Meaning, do Yibum with the deaf woman and do Chalitza with the Ktana, and you should be fine. You don't have to give a get to the deaf woman. Why? Because if the Chereshet is a Safek, the Chereshet is either 100% or zero. Okay? So, if that's the case, right, here's what he's going to do. Do Yibum with the Chereshet. Either that's Yibum D'Oraisa, and let's say it's Yibum D'Oraisa. Then he does Chalitza with the Ktana.
No,
okay.
He doesn't even do right, then you shouldn't have to do anything with that.
But we don't know. So he's going to have to do Chalitza with a Ktana. So we're going to explore how it would play out. He does Yibum with her and then Chalitza with a Ktana. So how would that work out? If she was totally Kiddushin and was 100%, then that's totally a Yibum, D'Oraisa, and the Chalitza with a Ktana was meaningless and it doesn't matter, nobody's hurt, no harm, no foul. If this was 0%, if the Chereshet was not married at all, then this wasn't an act of Yibum. This woman was just wasn't his brother's wife. she was really 0% married to a brother. Wasn't a brother's wife at all. So if he wasn't a brother's wife at all, then doing chalitza with the ktana doesn't affect his relationship. Either way, what he does with the ktana won't affect his relationship to his sister-in-law who is deaf. Either he was 100% yibum and what he does with the ktana can't hurt it, or it wasn't yibum at all and she wasn't his sister-in-law at all and what he does with the ktana can't hurt it. So there would be no need to give a get if the chereshet was 100% or 0. Okay? Tesav gabeni manavshach. Let her just continue living with him either way. Iknuyahi, if she was really 100% married to the brother, haknuyahi. So then fine, she was 100% married to the brother, there's 100% yibum, and what he does with the chalitza with the ktana has no impact on it. Okay? That's only a quasi thing. The ilo knuyahi, and if she wasn't at all married to the brother, it was 0%, right? Then it's not a sister-in-law. It's just some strange woman, okay? Not a sister-in-law at all. And chalitza with the ktana doesn't impact his relationship with this other woman, okay? The kitana, what? Okay, so that's why this doesn't work. Because if this worked, he wouldn't have to give a get. I mean, it could be true, but obviously Rav is not. Rav is not considering that because then Rav wouldn't have asked for a get. So it must be that it's the opposite. That the chereshet is 50% and the ktana is 100 or 0. Now we understand why you have to give a get. Because remember, with the chereshet, the only option is bia, right? It's got to start with bia with the chereshet because there's no chalitza. So he has sex with chereshet. Now, why does he have to give her a get? Because if he didn't give her a get and he stayed married to her, and then he went ahead and he did chalitza with the ktana, so if the ktana was 0%, wasn't really his sister-in-law, then the chalitza would be meaningless and it wouldn't affect his relationship with his wife, with his quasi-wife here. But if the ktana was 100%, then he would have a real mitzvah of yibum, the chalitza would be a real chalitza, and that would then impact, because this is a real thing. It might be a quasi thing, but it's not in doubt. There's a real yibum that took place here, a quasi yibum, but it's a yibum, okay? And therefore, the problem would be he did this definite quasi yibum, okay? And if the ktana is 100%, then both of them are his sister-in-laws. This one more, but both of them are. And the chalitza with one sister-in-law will ruin his yibum relationship with the other sister-in-law. And therefore, he has to do yibum and give her a get. So that shows that Rav, who's saying do yibum and give a get, says this is the quasi one. And therefore, because it's quasi, it can't be maintained once you do chalitza with a ktana, because that might be a weightier one and a real one, and that'll undermine that. So that's why you do yibum and a get. So let's keep reading a little bit more in the Gemara. This is the easy part of today's stuff. The chi tema, and if you say, Ktana my tamtin arche tachlotz, arche tegadev tachlotz. Why should the ktana have to wait till she becomes an adult and do chalitza? Tesav gabe. Why not just stay married to her? Iknuyahi haknuyahi. Iloknuyahi nuchresa ba'almahi. So he says, wait a minute. But according to this scenario, I got a solution. I got a different solution than Rav. You're right. If he does yibum with the chereshet, he has to give a get for the reason we said. But why go ahead and bother with the chereshet? Just go ahead and do yibum with the ktana. Either that'll be a total doraisa yibum because it's 100% the wife, or it'll be a meaningless act because it's not his sister-in-law at all. Okay? So why not just do yibum with the ktana? So the answer is sure. He can do yibum with the ktana, but who are we forgetting about? The chereshet. Right? That's sure. There's no problem in this scenario that ktana is 0 or 100 to do yibum with the ktana. Problem is that you're abandoning the chereshet. And if you want to worry about the chereshet, you have to, and that is going to be something that can only work by having sex and only work by doing yibum, and you're going to have to start with the chereshet. Okay, so the Gemara says, no, in kain chereshet my tepok. Yeah, you could say that, but then you haven't helped the chereshet. Okay, so Rav is saying, do yibum with the chereshet and then give her get and then go on to the ktana, is assuming that the chereshet is a quasi relationship and the ktana is either 100 or 0. All right, now the Gemara says like this. Amar Rav Sheshes, said Rav Sheshes. Rav must have been sleeping when he said, no, that he didn't. Hachinami, it's hard to be sleeping when you said that. Hachinami mistavra, that makes a sense. That also makes a sense. To the commentary to Rav Chizda Liba to Rav. like as Rav Chizda explained, according to Rav, that what do you call it? That this is the solution, and it's based on the idea that the Chireshet is quasi, and the Ktan is a suffix. What makes me say that that's the difference between the marriage to the Ktan and the marriage to the Chireshet? Titania, we talked in Brisa. Two brothers married to two sisters, orphan, although one of them doesn't have to be an orphan, as we'll see. Ketana v'chireshet. The real point is a ketana and a chireshet. A ketana where it's only rabbinic because she doesn't have a father. So two brothers married to two sisters. We've had this case before on the previous daf, but in the previous daf they were at the same plane. They were both charashot, right? Here they're at different planes. Two brothers married to two sisters. One is married to a ketana and the other is married to a chireshet. Meis ba'al ketana. And the husband of the ketana dies. Chireshet yotze beget. The ketana tamtin akshet tagdil v'tachlot. Okay, so now let's demonstrate this.
Couldn't this whole thing be solved if the katana does miyun?
Yeah, I was thinking about me.
Yes.
Then you wouldn't have all this problem, right?
That is correct.
So why don't the Chachamim just say, like, force her, cajole her to do miyun?
So you are right. So the Gemara is going to end the discussion by saying, reminding us that we pass on like Rebbe Lazar that we tell the katana to do miyun. Okay, so you are right. In a lot of these cases, that could work. Okay, so here you've got your Reuven and Shimon. Oh, but then we would have these fun lines.
Okay, no, I didn't say that. That was
What would they do?
Michael.
Okay, all right. We have Reuven and Shimon. Okay, one of them is married to a katana, and one of them is married to a chireshet.
He's too tall for her.
All right, fine. Now, okay, they're both Durabanan, but they're Durabanan of a different quality. Okay, and now what's going to happen? So let's take a look. Mace, where are we? Mace Balashok Tana. So the husband of the Ketana died. So now he's got a mitzvah of Yibum or Chalitza with her. What's he going to do? So that's not a problem because the Ketana can do Chalitza when she grows up at least. Okay. So Meis Balashok Tana, Chireshet, Yotzei. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Chireshet, Yotzei Beget, the Ketana Tamtina Shetakdia V'Tachlot. So he has to divorce his wife because he has to divorce his wife and then he has to do Chalitza. Why does he have to divorce his wife? And he thought why he has to divorce his wife?
Because it's achot. He made more of an obligation.
Exactly.
Than that other one.
They're sisters. So listen, if they were on the same plane, they were both charashot or both ketanot, she'd walk away because it's achos ishto. But because they're on different planes, you don't know, and maybe the obligation to the sister-in-law, who's also sister-in-law two ways, also your wife's sister, right? That may be stronger. You can't just walk away.
Yeah, but
so why not just do chalitza with her and have her walk away that way? Because if he did chalitza with her, why can't he continue to live with his wife?
And that's
Achos chalutzaso. Everybody with me here?
Right.
So this is a case where she can't just walk away. His obligation to her might be stronger. Doing chalitza doesn't suffice. Okay. So now why can't he just divorce? And once he does chalitza, he can't live with her. Why can't he divorce his wife and then do yibum?
Right.
Because then it's achos rushaso, achos ishto. So he's got to sever the relationship with both. Okay. So what does he do? Tani yotzis beget v'chireshes. I'm sorry. There's a chireshes yotzis beget. Now meis bala shel chireshes. That was the easy case. Now the husband of the chireshes dies. Okay. Why is this more complicated? Same issue. You can't wind up. You gotta sever the relationship with both, right? Because they're sisters, and one might be stronger. The only problem is that she's a chireshet. So what can you not do with her? Chalitza. So what are you going to do? I mean, if he divorces his wife first, he still can't do yibum and then give a get because the act of sex will be forbidden because it'll be achos ishta, right? Mm-hmm. So we're stuck. So in that case, meis bala shel chereshet. Yeah, I'm lost the place. Meis bala shel chereshet ketana yotzei beget. He has to divorce the ketana, okay, because it could be achos zukukaso. The chereshet asur li'olam. And the chireshet has no solution. He can't have sex with her, can't do chalitza, totally stuck. The imba ala chireshet.
Does he have to continue to support her for the rest of
I don't know. Now let's say he had sex. He wasn't supposed to, but he went ahead and he slept with the chireshet. Okay, he slept with the woman. So that is now he wasn't supposed to. It was achos ishto, but it was also if this obligation, if this was the stronger obligation, then that was an act of yibum, and now we can give her a get. Okay, no sin lo get v'hutra. All right, so that's the
So b'diavad,
that's the
that
bright.
works.
B'diavad, it works.
It almost
That's the
sounds
bright.
works.
B'diavad, it works.
like
Okay.
you should do that.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, right. All right. No, fine. Yeah. Okay. Iamarta bishlema. Now, this is going to prove our assertion that it's the chareshet that is the 50% and the ketana that's the all or nothing. Let's take a look how it's going to prove it. Iamarta bishlema. If you said it's good, chareshet knuya mishuyeret ketana knuya vena knuya. The chareshet is the 50% and the ketana is the all or nothing. Mishum hachi. That's why the kibala chareshet nosen laget v'hutra. That's why if b'diavad he slept with the sister-in-law who is deaf, he can go ahead and then give her a get. Why? Let's play it out. Iktana knuyahi hanafka mishumachos isha. Okay, let's play it out. He's going to have sex with the chereshet. What is the relationship to the ketana? Okay, everybody with me here? If we're going to assume this scenario, okay, chereshet is quasi, ketana is all nothing. If the ketana is 100%, okay, then who is his sister? His sister-in-law is achos ishto d'oraisa, no mitzvah of yibum, and she could walk away. If we knew the ketana was 100%, then she could walk away because it would be wife's sister. Everybody with me? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then giving her again is meaningless.
But that you wouldn't need. Yes, but then you know that she's free anyway. If the ketana was 0%, then yibum was totally acceptable, and a get totally works. Yeah. So either he didn't need to do anything with her; she could have walked away anyway if we had known, or the ketana didn't get in the way because he wasn't married to her at all, and therefore the yibum and the get will work. That's fine with this way. Okay, so that's what it says. That's fine. You guys, mishum hachi to keep it nothing like that. If he was 100% married to his wife, the ketana, hanafka mishum achos isha, then his sister-in-law could have just walked away stam. So obviously she's mutter to somebody else now. Maybe he did an usher act of sex, but it doesn't change the fact that she's mutter to get married now. He loved knuya, and if he wasn't married to his wife at all, the ketana was 0, then shaper miyabe. It was a good yibum and a good get. That works. But here's how with the chareshet.
With the chareshet.
Right. Ella, but near that won't work if you reverse it. Ella marked chereshet knuya ve'ena knuya. Ketana knuya mishuyeret. If you assume the counterfactual that the chereshet is all or nothing and the ketana is 50%, it won't work. Kibala chereshet amay nosin laget. Why can he give a get after he's had sex with his sister-in-law who is deaf? V'hutra. How do you let be a psula? Be a psula lo patra. Because let's say it was the reverse. Let's say this was the 50% and this was the all or nothing. So if it was nothing, then obviously she could walk away. The concern is that it was 100%. So it's 100%, he's got a mitzvah of yibum d'oraisa with this woman, right? But that mitzvah of yibum d'oraisa is a problematic yibum. Why is it a problematic yibum? Because he at the same time is quasi married to her sister. So therefore, that act of yibum is called a bia psula. He has 100% obligation. If we were to say that this was the all or nothing, he has 100% obligation of yibum, and it would not have been a legitimate one because he has a definite 50% quasi relationship.
Who cares?
With
he's still even with her. Even worse
the
than
the rabbinic laws are that if it was a problematic bia, we do not allow a get afterwards. We say a problematic yibum does not count as a yibum, and she still requires chalitza. And of course, chalitza isn't an option for her. Okay, so that's why we can't. That again proves, like Rava, that the chereshet is the 50% and the ketana is the all or nothing. So if the chereshet was all or nothing and this was 50%, then this would be a definite relationship, quasi but definite, and therefore the act of bia would never solve this problem. Okay.
What does that mean, bia psula?
I mean
conditions within which the bia was affected don't. Like what?
It means that so exactly what defines bia psula is a whole discussion of Rashi Tosos. Okay. But here it's sufficient to know that it was usher to have sex because it was wife's sister.
And this is the katana that was nisui,
right, without a father. Right. Okay, so that again proves Rava. How do they bia psula? Bia psula patra. Somebody says, how many Reb Nechemia he? Damer bia psula poteris. No. There was a Reb Nechemia before. I'm sure we've all forgotten about him. I forgot about him. There was a Reb Nechemia that says that even a bia psula, once you did the act of sex, it works, even if it was a problematic act of sex, and you can go ahead and give a get afterwards. You don't need chalitza. So that's how it all works out. So you can still maintain the opposite of Rava. you can still of Rav. You can still maintain that the Chireshet is the. I'm now confused myself. But the Chireshet is the all or nothing, and the Ketana is the 50%, and we can still explain this case even though it's a Bia Psula. All right, so we haven't 100% proved Rav.
Only 50%.
Only 50%. So now the Gemara says like this. All right, exactly. Okay, so the Gemara says like this. No. I'm gonna be absurd. If it's Reb Nechemia, let's look at the end of this Breita. Two orphans doesn't literally mean orphan. One is an orphan, the other isn't. Okay, so now here's a different case. He's married. One guy's married.
Two sisters, right?
Two sisters, the Ketana and the Chireshet. He dies. Comes along the brother, Shimon. Okay, that's the case essentially in our Mishnah, that he's got a mitzvah of Yibum, but of different qualities with each one. Okay, and what does he do? Okay, so then basically there was sex with both women. Either he had sex with the Ketana and the Chireshet, or he had sex with the Ketana and another brother, Levi, had sex with the Chireshet. That's scenario number one. Or the reverse. Okay? I'm sorry. Did I skip a line? No. Nesru Shtei Hamalav. We haven't gotten to the reverse. They both become forbidden to him. So what happened? So he first had sex with the Ketana, and then him, I'm not going to give the brother case, it's more or less the same. And then he or another brother had sex with the Chireshet. So he had sex with the Ketana, that's Yibum, right? Fine, he did Yibum. Then he had sex with the other wife. Okay, now, why does that make the Ketana forbidden to him? This wife is forbidden because he can't do Yibum with both wives. He can only do Yibum with one. Why does it make this wife forbidden to him? Because remember, these are relationships of different quality. So this Yibum might have been the real one, right? And if this Yibum was the real one, the weightier one, then it kicked her out of the game, and then he can't go on living with her because this is now be the co-wife of the woman he did Yibum with. So since you don't know which is stronger, once he did Yibum with her, and you don't know that's better. If you knew that's better, she would leave, but that one might be better. So you're stuck. You don't know which one is better. You have to divorce both of them. Nesru Shtei Hamalav. Okay.
But they won't be a Guno. You divorce both of them, and they'll be.
Exactly.
But
okay.
We don't need to have these sisters over here, right?
They're not sisters.
Right.
Okay. They're not sisters.
They're not. Yeah, of course they're
right.
Not sisters.
They're not sisters. This guy was married to both of them.
No, but you told about.
Just means that they don't have the status of Bardas. It wasn't a Doraisa with. Okay. So Nesru Shimlav. Ketzit Tekanatam. Chireshet Yotzeit beget. So the Chireshet, he gives a get. The Ketana, Tamtina Tagdia v'tachlot. And the Ketana, she waits and does chalitza. Now the question is, right, why the Ketana does chalitza? Because, why is she doing chalitza? Why isn't she giving her a get also?
Where does he give her a get?
He did Yibum with the Ketana. Hold on a minute. So the Gemara is going to explain. Let's take a look. The Gemara is going to figure this out with Ketana. Let's take a look. Iamarta b'shleima. Now it's going to figure out why that's the halacha. Chayreshet knuya mishu yerek Ketana knuya ve'ena knuya v'rabbanan he. If it's not this whole Rabbi Nechemia of Bia Psula, if it is the case, and like for that other, and it's basically like the way Rav would have it. Bia Psula would be a problem. And who is it? And what are we assuming? We're assuming that the Chireshet is 50% and the Ketana is all or nothing. That's why he has to do chalitza. That's why it's not just an issue of a get. Why not? Okay, so here's what it's saying. Take a look. Okay, we understand why the Chireshet, it was a Yibum and then a get, and that's fine. But here's why by the Ketana, a get won't suffice. In this case, where the Ketana was first and the Chireshet was second, you really are okay within Rav's schema. Why? Because the Ketana was either 100%, and therefore this Bia was meaningless, so he could still go on pleading with the Ketana.
So it was also meaningless, potentially.
What? It had no also but meaningless. Or the Ketana wasn't even his sister-in-law; it was 0%, and therefore this Bia also had no implications. So actually, according to Rav's approach,
so wait, if it was, I'm sorry, you said the Ketana might not have been his sister-in-law, so that means it was Yibum with the Chireshet then.
Yeah, but he could go on living with the Ketana because she's not relevant. to the situation. If it was 0%, she's just some stam woman.
Right, he was never married to her.
He was never married to her, no mitzvah yibum. Okay, so given Rav's idea that Ketana is all or nothing, actually, when it's this order, you're actually totally fine to go, in principle, to go on living with the Ketana. You understand why? Either it was 100% and this act wasn't meaningful, or it was nothing and it's also irrelevant to yibum. But we're concerned about the other way around, and we're going to treat both cases as the same because one will lead to the other. So if it was the other way around, then within Rav's approach, this was a definite 50% yibum.
I like that.
And then definite 50%, and then he went down and deal with the Ketana. So if she was not his sister-in-law at all, it wouldn't matter. But let's say she was 100% his sister-in-law, and there was a mitzvah of yibum d'oraisa, and he did it. So that would not work. Why would it not work?
Because
it's bia psula. Since he's already definitely quasi-married to the co-wife, it's true. There's a difference between doubtful. You gotta love it. The whole Gemara of the difference between 50% or 100% or zero. So anyway, since he's definitely married to her, right? D'Rabbanan, he is usher to have sex with her. And even if this is 100% and this is a d'oraisa, he's usher to have sex. It's a co-wife, and it's a bia psula. And a bia psula would not solve the problem with a get. A bia psula, you would still need to do chalitza. Wouldn't count as a full yibum. You'd still need to do chalitza. So within Rav's approach, we understand why he has to do chalitza with the Ketana, why he can't give her a get. Okay, is that clear? Okay, enough.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep on going. So that works for Rav. Okay, then we understand, and it's a
get will not work in the case of a bia psula.
Correct.
Either
a
way,
bia psula does not count enough as a yibum and different as a chalitza. We'll require it in either order because one will lead to the next. Okay, so that works according to Rav. Right. So now we're good. We're still good. If you assume bia psula, you assume Rav. That makes sense. But here, how it's not going to work if you assume the opposite of Rav and you introduce Rabbi Nechemia. Okay. If you say it's Rabbi Nechemia and he was introduced to say it was the opposite, that the Ketana was the quasi and the Chireshet was the all or nothing. So Iyamar Rabbi Nechemia Bia Psula, who says Hamar Bia Psula Patra, then there's no explanation of why the Ketana would need to do chalitza. Because if it's Rabbi Nechemia, right, the Ketana either had he had sex with the Ketana. So it was a yibum, right? And even if it was a scenario in which he was already maybe married to the other wife, Rabbi Nechemia says, I don't care. Once you've done a bia, even a bia psula, it counts and give a get. So because this Breita says that he's going to have to do chalitza with the Ketana, the only explanation of chalitza with the Ketana is that it was a bia psula. And the only scenario that it was a bia psula for the Ketana was that he was 50% married to the Chereshet. Okay, so all of this proves Rav that it is a problem of bia psula, and that the basic thing is that the Chereshet is 50% and the Ketana is all or nothing. Okay, so Ela Iyamad Reb Nechemia Shma Mina Ela Shma Mina Rabbanani Shma Mina. Thank God. Okay, so you don't know how long that took me to sort of prepare last night, especially since I was falling asleep while I was trying to figure this one out. Anyway, so that we have resolved that Rav is correct, that the Ketana is all or nothing, and the Chereshet is 50%. We're getting to the Mishnah. Okay, maybe we're even going to turn the page. That just wait. Amar Avashi, Mereisha Nami Shmamina D'Rabbanani. You could even have figured it out from the Reisha. That it's not Rabbanan and not Reb Nechemia. Tani imbala chireshet nosen laget v'hutra. Right? Remember that where he wasn't supposed to sleep with the wife that was the chireshet, but if he did, then he can give her a get. Okay, people remember that the case where we did before. What was that? The case of the sisters. Okay, remember the case of the sisters? He wasn't supposed to sleep with her. Right? It was a case of his brother was married to his wife's sister. He wasn't supposed to sleep with the chireshet, but if he did, he could give her a get. V'hutra. Why didn't it give a similar case by having had sex with a Ketana in the flip case when and that he could give her, and he wasn't supposed to have sex with the Ketana who was married to his brother because it was his wife's sister, and if he did, then he could go ahead and give her a get. It didn't say that. So, and why didn't it say that? It must have been. It didn't say that because with the Ketana it would have been a bia psula, and it's Reb Nechemia. So he wants to know. That's not a good evidence. Chereshet leisle takanta de tera tanik takanta disura. The chereshet, remember the case was that the chereshet there was no solution for her, wife, sister, no solution. So because there's no mutter solution, we're going to tell you what would be the usher solution, but it would still be a solution. So we're going to discuss the scenario of having slept with her and giving her a get. Ktana, the isla takanta de tera, lo tani takanta disura. Ktana, that there actually is a heter way of solving this issue, right? With the chalitza and whatever, we're not going to tell you there's also an isser way of solving it, be and a get. Okay, but it's not relevant to proving whether bia psula does or does not work. Okay, now David asked about what about the miyun? That's coming up in the next Mishnah. And guess what? We've already done half of the Mishnayos that are coming up. We've already brought them into this sugya. So hopefully the next few pages will sound very familiar. Mate. Does it sound familiar? Married to two women. Right. So basically, he was married to these two women, and the brother, but they're both of the same. Right. They're both of the same category. So in that case, the first one was completely worked. 100% even with the first one, or within this world, they're on equal footing, and therefore whatever happened with the second one did not impact his legitimate yibum with the first one. Or if they're both charashot, and again in the same category. Same would be true if they're two charashot. However, the more interesting case is when they're of a different quality. And this is what we quoted before. So he had sex with one and the other, or his brother with the other. In that case, because they're of different qualities, and you don't know which is the more weighty in the other, and which is the quasi, and which is whatever, as we've just described, after he had sex with the other wife, that ruined his relationship with the first wife, with the first sister-in-law.
We would disagree.
Yeah. Now, same would be if it was reversed. First was sex with the deaf wife, and then with the ktana. Same story. Again, because one of them might be stronger than the other, and you don't know which is which, regardless of the order, now you're stuck. Cannot continue the relationship with either wife. Okay, so good. We've already figured all of that out. Now, we're not gonna do more about that now. Bayabam al chereshet. Is that what I'm up to?
Yeah.
Bayabam al chereshet. Chazer ba al pik. No, I didn't. I knew case.
That's the fourth line. Bayabam al chereshet. Chazer ba al ktan. I don't know if you read that.
I did that. Osha ba chiva ktan pasot chereshet. Now pikas for chereshet. That's where I'm up to. Okay, sixth line. And the sixth line. Let's say there are different qualities, but one is clearly a stronger relationship. His brother was married to an adult hearing woman and an adult deaf woman. So the adult hearing woman is dioraisa. That clearly is stronger. In that case, okay, if he first had sex with the hearing woman, and that's 100% yibum dioraisa, and then he or his brother had sex with the deaf woman, because it didn't affect the relationship. The first thing was 100% effective. If first he had sex with the deaf sister-in-law, the chazer balapikas, and then he had sex with the hearing sister-in-law, or his brother did. That's a problem, because then came a stronger act of yibum, a dioraisa act of yibum, and therefore it affected his existing relationship with the first sister-in-law.
Why wasn't it bia psula though?
It might be a bia psula that it's a good point to say that she doesn't leave with a get, but that a bia psula is a chumrah. It means she doesn't leave with a get. She needs also a chalitza, but now it certainly worked the dioraisa, and now it ruins his relationship with the first wife, with the first sister-in-law. Gdola Ktana, and the same would be true. Yeah, we'll worry about what he does. Okay, Gdola Ktana, let's say similar, except rather than hearing and deaf, adult and minor, same story. One clearly works, one is more rabbinic. If he first had sex with the adult one, 100% yibum dioraisa, and then he had sex with the minor, it didn't affect his relationship. He was already 100% binding. Nothing afterwards could undermine that. If he started with the minor, and then he had sex with the adult wife, so that the second thing actually was more binding than the first, and therefore undermines the relationship of the first, because he now has a more weighty relationship with the second. In that case, pasala taktana, it invalidated. But Linzer omer melamdein es haktana shetimayin lo. You know what the solution in all these cases when you've got a ktana is? Get the ktana to do miyun. Amar Rabbi, and that's the only line we focus on now, because thank God we've already dealt with most of the real meat of this Mishnah. So Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel, halacha ka Rebbe Lezer. We rule like Rebbe Lezer. When there's a ketana, you get her to do miyun. V'chein Amar Rebbe Lezer, the Amora halacha ka Rebbe Elazar the Tana. The tzricha, the Itmar Baha. You need to tell me two places. We said here we teach the ketana, and we said way at the beginning of this Masechet that you teach the ketana. In what case was that again? What was the case again? Anybody remember the first case of teaching the ketana?
Oh, that was, yeah.
The sisters. 1 minute. Hold on, what was the case? Kuf Terem Aleph. Shnei achim nesuim l'shtei achayot. Right. Right. It was a case about a sister. So he had this mitzvah of yibum, whatever, with the sister. I don't even remember. Okay, but it was a case of sisters, and you had to solve it. So you solved it by doing the meal. Okay, right. So you needed both cases. I would have said there. He says we'd say like Rebbe Lezer, mishum dulo kaya mitzvah yibum, because there's not really a clear mitzvah yibum there, because you're dealing with a wife sister. So if there's a wife sister, the ketana is already pretty much out of. I mean, she's not. If she was 100% sister, you wouldn't need to deal with it. But because of this whole quasi thing, she's like, she's in the picture. But because it's an aspect of her being a wife's sister, she's not so much in the category of yibum anyway, right? We have to deal with it because of the complications of the situation. But she's not really in the category of yibum because she's a wife's sister. So there we'll let her do miyun. Okay? We say do miyun. Here where he is Mekayim the Yibum, first of all, he's already slept with both women. He's been Mekayim it. And second of all, with at least, that it's not like a case of a sister. Both women are potential for Yibum here, right? It's just you can't do it with both of them. But they're both in the category of Yibum. In this case, maybe we don't encourage a miyun where the Yibum took place. We'll acknowledge that and we'll go ahead and we'll do a get or whatever, but we're not going to encourage a miyun. If you had said here, we encourage the miyun, maybe, I'm sorry, the first point was the miyun already took place. If you, the Yibum. In our Mishnah that he slept with both women and the Bia already took place, we're not going to now say do a miyun, right? Now that you've already slept with a woman, just give a get, right?
No, you say to do miyun.
I know, but I would have said you do miyun in one case if nothing happened yet. But here he's already slept with the women, give him a get. Don't now introduce miyun. That's why I would have said you couldn't have assumed we pass like Rebbe Lezer here. And if we had passed like Rebbe Lezer here, I jumped ahead and gave this reason earlier. If we had passed like Rebbe Lezer here, because here at least both women are really in the parsha of Yibum and the adult more, and you want to get the ketana out of the picture. So therefore, there's a reason to sort of say the ketana isn't really part of this anyway. Let's get her out of the picture. But in the other case, they were both legitimately in the same parsha. It was just a whole issue of, or legitimately not. They were both an issue of sisters. So I might think that we don't encourage miyun and tzricha. You need both cases. Anyway, the upshot of it is that according you with Rebbe Lezer, when there's a ketana involved, you do miyun and you tell her to do miyun, and that's how you solve a lot of these cases. Okay, I have to tell you that was actually not bad at all.